Hi everyone, this is Dynamic Daphne, the host of the A New Day show. Of course, I'm coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, where I was attending an amazing speakers intensive boot camp. I was privileged to meet Miss Fiona Harrold, who is Britain's top coach. And I was so honored when I offered her the opportunity for an interview and she accepted. So grab your pads, grab your pens and paper because you are going to be getting a wealth of information that is going to not only transform your life, however, your entire career and that of your families. Fiona, hello and welcome to the A New Day show.
Hi, Daphne. I am delighted to be with you, to be with the dynamic Daphne.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I tell you, we just met 2 days ago, and it is as if I have known you my entire life. You're personable, you are loving, you're just so pleasant to be around. So I want to give you this opportunity to please introduce yourself to my listeners.
Thank you so much, Daphne. It's my pleasure to be here and be with your listeners. I'm known as Britain's leading life coach. I'm known because of my profile in the media. So I started out as a general life coach way back. My first book, Be Your Own Life Coach, came out in 2000, and I've since done 4 others.
Very
and
nice.
What I mainly help entrepreneurs and business owners with these days is getting into the media, because there is no faster way to reach thousands and millions of your audience, of your potential clients and customers, than getting featured in the media. Because that's really how I built my business. It's how I brought publishing deals to the table, how I got invitations to speak all over the world, and really everything that's come my way. I've used the media, getting promoted in the media for free, to build my business
Beautiful.
over the past 15, 20 years.
Wonderful. Fiona, why do you think that entrepreneurs do not grab this opportunity of the media?
That's a really interesting question, Daphne, and I think there's a couple of reasons. I think that we are also fixated on Facebook at the moment.
Yes.
Social media and obviously what we can do for free. And you know, of course I think that's a good thing, and we should be doing that to reach our audience, to get our message out there, of course.
Yes.
But I think that also there may be this mystique
Yes.
around the media.
Yes.
You know, we see people in the media and we possibly have no idea how they got there. Or it's almost like it's a secret club.
Yes.
It's for certain types of people,
Exactly.
but not for us.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah, so
Yes.
there's a little bit of that us and them going on. So I think it's probably that. And I think there's just a confusion, a complete confusion.
And huge fear factor.
Yeah. Like, how would I go about that?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
possibly people have tried to do that and been ignored,
Exactly.
which is just
exactly.
about the worst thing. Let's feel
Exactly.
it. Let's yeah.
A lot of people, another thing, they will say, oh, but it costs a lot. And people do not understand the amount of leverage that you can get from free media.
Yeah.
You just have to build the relationships.
Yeah.
And what happens if you go out there and somebody say no? You just move to
Yeah.
the next person.
Well, I wouldn't entirely agree with that, Daphne.
Yes.
What I think is that getting into the media and getting good at getting into the media is a skill.
Yes.
It's a learnable skill.
Yes.
But I do think it's something that you've got to pay attention to and get good at.
Yes.
Because you don't want to sabotage your relationships with journalists by being underprepared.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
Way back in the day when I was setting up my business, there was no social media, there was no Facebook. So there was no free opportunities to get in front of my audience.
Right.
It was either paying for ads, I did not have the budget for that at the time,
Right.
or it was getting very good at getting in the media, getting editorial coverage. So I made it my business to get good at getting in the media. So I came up with ideas that I sent off to journalists that were relevant to their readers. Ideas I was pretty sure that they would like.
Yes,
I was very
yes.
generous in my approach. And I offered, for example, free sessions to journalists. And way back in the day, one of those journalists took up that offer.
Beautiful.
First thing I knew about it was one morning, at about 7:10 in the morning, the phone rang downstairs. This is in the day before mobile phones. And I answered the phone, and I kept on answering the phone all day long. Until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was still in my pajamas.
Wow.
But by the end of the day, I had a business under my belt. I
What
was
an
booked
amazing
up
story.
solidly for weeks ahead. I had a waiting list.
Beautiful.
And my life was transformed quite literally overnight. So that's why I'm so evangelical about the power of the media.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, for the thousands of people that will hear this conversation between us, I know most of us aren't prepared, Fiona. How do we begin to get prepared?
Great question, Daphne. Well, the first thing I would say is that you have always got to be interesting and relevant. You've got to get clear on the publications that your clients read, not the ones that you like or that you read, but the ones that they like and that they read. And you've got to study that newspaper or that radio show or that TV show. You've got to really study it. And you've got to look at the sort of features that they cover and the sort of problems that their readers or their viewers have. And then you've got to come up with a solution to that problem that is interesting and fresh and different and therefore better than
That's
anything
right.
else.
That's right.
Now, can I give you a quick example of that, Daphne?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So I worked with a client recently who is a brilliant counselor. That is not enough to get her featured in the media.
No.
She's also a brilliant couples counselor. That's not enough either. So you cannot go to the media simply with the thing that you do.
Not norm. It's not the
It's
norm.
not enough.
That's right.
So we worked together on looking for the problem that those readers have that she could fix.
Solve, yes.
So one of the problems is that in the UK, divorce is the highest rate of anywhere in Europe. We looked for some statistics and research, and what we found was that actually couples spend about a half an hour together during the week of quality time together, which is
Half
obviously
an hour.
dreadful.
30 minutes?
30 minutes a maximum
My Lord.
per day.
Wow.
So, obviously, that's a huge factor in the divorce rate. So what we came up with was an away day for couples. Like you have an away day in business.
It's like a dating day.
Exactly.
Yes.
You go to a nice hotel, you have that lovely time out, you relax, and Diane comes along and she creates that away day for you, where you clear up any difficulties or confusions, and you set the vision for the way ahead.
What
so
a
right
brilliant
now,
idea.
we have got the biggest selling quality tabloid in the UK about to interview her, and they're going to send a journalist to actually try out the away day.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
when that happens, that will transform Diane's business, and it will transform her life.
And nobody else is doing that. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
And you know, not spending quality time together is one of the leading causes of divorce now, because when people were dating, they spent quality time together.
That's so true.
A few weeks ago, I was in one of the upscales boutique up in Connecticut, and the owner of the boutique asked a couple that came in, "Where are you going dancing?" And she opened a can of worms, Fiona, because the husband quickly looked around and said, "You're causing trouble for me now," because the reply from the wife said, "Oh, from the day he married me, he never took me dancing again."
Wow. Oh, wow. Again, that's the interesting thing.
Exactly.
Again.
And I listened and I said, "Isn't that something? The things people did during
Yeah.
dating They don't do that anymore. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing for us as business owners.
Yeah.
We got to take time away so we can replenish ourselves, so we can serve our clients.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the other clients that you have worked over, because you have been on this rodeo a long time,
I
Fiona.
have actually, yeah. I've been on this road a very long time.
Yes.
Well, let's think. Gorgeous Italian restaurant in London.
Yes.
If you're ever there, please go. Called Sapori Sardi.
Ah.
And I first discovered Sapori Sardi because they were in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And they opened up and I popped in and I loved them. They weren't very busy at all. And at that time, they were a cafe deli. They were like a deli during the day, a little bit of a cafe in the evening. But they were not doing well at all.
Mm.
And in fact, they were failing.
Wow.
And they were on their way to going out of business.
Mm.
So we sat down and I invited them to change their brand.
Wow.
I pointed out that in the area that they were in, it was a family neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in that neighborhood, I knew it very well, and we had lots of chain restaurants,
Yeah.
Pizza Express, and all those types of places. But what we didn't have was a warm, cozy, friendly Italian neighborhood restaurant.
Mm.
So I said, look, there are sandwich places everywhere. You can buy sandwiches in
Any place.
in the newsagents, in the supermarkets. And I said, that's what we really want in this neighborhood. So they closed for about 5 days, and we got rid of all the sandwich counters, and we turned it into this cozy, warm, family-run Italian neighborhood restaurant.
Wow.
Pictures on the walls. Story was really important. Story
Exactly.
is really important, Daphne.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
So I sat down and I got the story of Piero, the chef, and how his mother in Italy had taught him to bake bread at 11.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And how he'd been a head chef in London at 21.
Wow.
And how his
Amazing.
lifelong dream was to have his own restaurant.
Ooh.
And now the dream was coming true.
Wow.
So I wrote that story. If you ever go to the restaurant, look in the menu, because what you'll see in the front page is Piero's story. So I wrote that story.
Wow.
And when I say story, I want to emphasize that it is completely true.
Yes.
I just
yes.
positioned the story.
Yes,
so
to
that-
attract families.
Yeah, absolutely. I've even been in the restaurant where people have been like, wanting to shake his hands because they see him as a celebrity, because they see the picture of
Exactly.
him and they see the story.
Wow.
So we rebranded and we opened, and I invited press to come in, and they did, and we got lots of local press, and they got amazing reviews, like fantastico. This is the best restaurant in the area. If I could eat here every night, I would, and you've got to come here, and it's worth traveling.
That's right. People are coming from across town to be there.
People were actually, believe it or not, I mean, I'm not much of a foodie, but there actually are these people. They're called foodies,
Yes.
and they travel.
Yeah,
There were people
travel
coming from the north
hours.
of England
Wow.
who were staying overnight nearby in a hotel just to
just
go.
to dine there.
Absolute truth. So